We gathered the top Today I Learned post from August 16 to August 23 and found 28 entries. We hope you learned something new as well. Number 1. In a major breakthrough in bovine linguistic research, experts have confirmed that cows moo with accents distinct to their herd. Second, that Nobel laureate Stanley Prusiner, who discovered prions, an infectious protein in the brain, was attacked by both the scientific establishment and the media when he presented his ideas due to the thinking that an infectious protein would be impossible. Third, that the famous horror film, The Nightmare on Elm Street, is actually based on a true story. The director claimed of a young boy who saw a mysterious creature trying to kill him in his dreams. Days after trying to stay awake, the boy screamed, then died in his sleep. Fourth, in 2009 the Large Hadron Collider was temporarily disabled by a bird dropping a chunk of baguette on an electrical substation. In 2016, the LHC was again shut down, this time by a weasel. Fifth, about Mary Anderson, inventor of the windshield wiper. She got a 17-year patent for it in 1903. She tried to sell the rights in 1905 but was rejected by a firm saying, "We do not consider it to be of such commercial value as would warrant our undertaking its sale." Number 6. Jerry Lawson pioneered home video gaming in the 1970s by helping to invent the Fairchild Channel F, the first system with interchangeable cartridges. One of few black engineers in computing at the time, he unfortunately received less recognition than deserved due to the Channel F's poor sales. Seventh, that during the Second World War, it was found that British tank crews regularly left the safety of their tanks in order to make tea. Accordingly, post-war British tanks have been fitted with internal tea-making facilities to enable tank crews to make tea in safety. Number 8. During World War I, the German civilian ship Cap Trafalgar was armed and tasked with sinking British merchant ships, disguised as the British RMS Carmania. The first vessel the Cap Trafalgar ran into was the real RMS Carmania, which sank its counterfeit. Ninth, that as Prey. Grover Cleveland and his wife were moving out of the White House, she told staff to take care of the place because "we are coming back 4 years from today." Cleveland won another term and moved back in 4 years later. Number 10. That Milton Wright, a bishop, once famously said, "Men will never fly, because flying is reserved for the angels." He was the father of the Wright brothers. 11th, Helen Keller was a suffragist, pacifist, and radical socialist. She actively campaigned and wrote in support of the working class from 1909 to 1921. 12th, that the names at the 9/11 memorial are not organized alphabetically, by company or location, but rather by how close of a relationship that person had with those names around them. 13th, that when asked in 1934, "How is mathematics at Göttingen, now that it is free from the Jewish influence?" David Hilbert replied, "There is no mathematics in Göttingen, anymore." Göttingen had arguably been the center of the mathematical world before then. 14th, that about 44% of deaths among Russian soldiers are due to suicide after being a victim of a systematic abuse called Dedovshchina. Number 15. Queen Elizabeth II is likely a direct descendant of Dracula through her grandmother Queen Mary. Number 16. Co-inventor of the airplane Orville Wright was still alive when the sound barrier was broken in 1947 by Chuck Yeager. 17th. Macaroons and macaroons are not the same things. Macaroons are American coconut-based cookies. Macaroons are French, originally Italian, meringue-based confection made up of 2 cookies with filling in the center. 18th. Black American Sign Language (BASL) is a dialect of American Sign Language (ASL), used most commonly by deaf African Americans in the United States, that diverged from ASL largely as a result of the segregation of schools in the American South. 19th, that actor Crispin Glover, most famous as George McFly, lives in a 400-year-old, 17-bedroom, 20-acre estate in Kanaravice, Czech Republic that he has lovingly restored. 20th, the word checkmate is derived from the Persian shamat, the king is helpless. 21st, that in 2012, an Indian nurse looking after the Duchess of Cambridge was prank called by an Australian radio station pretending to be the Queen. This led to her revealing confidential information which was then broadcast on the radio. 3 days later, she committed suicide by hanging. 22nd, after finding that 66% of teens have chronic sleep deprivation, the CDC has started recommending later start times for schools. 23rd, that Jimmy Carter has been alive for 39 years since he left office, which is the longest time span of any POTUS ever. Second place is held by Herbert Hoover, who lived for 31 years after his presidency. Number 24. That when Marie Curie ran out of radium for her research in 1921, a women's magazine led a crowdfunding campaign and raised $100,000 to buy her some more. 25th. That in 1862 someone sent Charles Darwin a flower from Madagascar that had an extremely deep crevasse where the nectar was located. He predicted that there was a moth with an extraordinarily long tongue to reach the nectar. X. Morgany was discovered nearly 150 years later feeding on the flower. 26th. Before the Internet, Nintendo had game counselors, whom you could call if you were stuck in a game and they would coach you through it. Number 27. Africa has a Stonehenge, older than Stonehenge. Built to mark the summer solstice and the arrival of the monsoons, Nabta Playa, the oldest stone circle in the world, is among Earth's oldest astronomical observatories. Over 7,000 years old, it was found mostly buried in sand in the 1970s. 28th. The first word that Helen Keller learned was water. Her tutor took Helen's hand, poured water over it, and then spelled out water in Helen's palm. Helen made the association between the writing in her palm and the water. After this breakthrough, Helen learned 30 more words that day. Do not forget to like and subscribe and comment down below with your things that you think other people do not know yet. Click on the notification bell icon so we can update you with our new videos. Till next time.